Just how powerful are your words? How powerful are the things that you speak, what you say, how you say them, the sound, the vowel sound, the vocabulary you use. It literally can change everything, or it can bring you down to nothing. It can bring you down to failure. How do you escape that? Stay with me. I'll be back.
You can do it. Don't stop. Ed Montgomery. Come on. A new way of thinking. Transform your mind. Straight from the vine. Fresh new wine.
Hello, I am Ed Montgomery, aka Dr. Ed. Thank you so much for joining us right here on Fresh New Wine. You know, I keep getting it mixed up with, we used to have one we called Vintage Wisdom. Everything seems to be kind of shifting toward vintage because as you get older, the grapes get older, but people think older grapes mean bad wine. Actually, it means wine that is created at its peak when all of the juices and everything are in it, which makes it vintage, which makes it more powerful and potent. So take a moment, hit that like button. Even though you have not heard any of this, you know it's going to be good. Hit the like button. It gets us into those algorithms and starts us off very quickly, because I'm going to talk about this thing about church. I'm going to talk about some of these. I remember Don Lemon they're trying to do something to Don Lemon about church, and he was covering a church and where the pastor or one of the pastors was supposed to be an ICE agent. And I'm going to get into all of that. Words, how powerful they are. What is church? How do we really connect? What's this thing with Christianity? What's real? What's not real? What's bringing us down? So hit share with people you know would like to hear something like this, and you want to say, hey, listen to this. Let me know where you're listening from, what city you're listening from, other than the city of Houston. If you're in a state other than Texas, type, let me know what state you're in. If it's a country other than United States of America, let me know where you're watching this from. I need to know, okay? All right. One of the things that I was watching the news, and it gets to a point that you get so, you don't want to talk about it too much. But there was this situation where Don Lemon, I don't know if you know who Don Lemon is. I didn't have a clip. Do we have a clip? No, we don't. Okay. But you know who Don Lemon is. Don Lemon was on a network, and then he went on his own, and now he's got his own show, and he was covering what was happening, I believe, over in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. And he was at a church, and I got that, well, the city is right. But anyway, here's the bottom line. Don Lemon is at this church. Come to find out, this particular church, the pastor or one of the seating pastors there is an ICE agent, and someone found out that this person is probably an ICE agent or connected with ICE. And so they were reporting this situation. And people were talking about it's church property, shouldn't be there. You can't protest because it's the church, it's on the church property, and on and on and on and on, which is, of course, private property and things, of that sort. I understand that. But I think we have an unbalanced view of church. First of all, a nonprofit organization, which is what you could call a church, what a church is. Notice what it says. It is a nonprofit organization. It does not say a nonprofit building. The building itself, although it may be under the nonprofit organization or be used by the nonprofit organization, the building is not a church. Now, these are things that we believe, however legal or tax code or anything like that, that's something totally different. But based on what we think and what we believe, the church is not a building or a steeple. The church is, come on, if you've been watching with me for any length of time, you know what I'm going to say. It's what? People. The church is people. I don't know if I should have said is people or are people. The church, the entity, is people. Maybe it might be ecclesia, or it might be, I think that German, moving into that German word, Kirch, church, where we get the word church from, is people. Jesus makes a statement. He says, where two or three are gathered, I believe that's Matthew chapter 16, or two or three are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Christ is in the midst of them. How do you be in the midst of people? It doesn't mean that you got two or three people and then Jesus comes in and stands in the middle. No, Christ is in us. So therefore, when two or three people come with like thinking, like mind, like philosophy, like consciousness, the Spirit of Christ is there. The church has gathered. In other words, those people have not just gone to church. Those people are the church. Now you take those two or three people who come gather in my name, walk them through a door of a building, and now you have the church inside of the building. The building doesn't become the church. The church is inside of the building. In other words, the people are in the building. And the people can do whatever they want to. They can pray together. They can praise together. They can have testimonies together. They can talk about good things together. They can eat pizza together. They can do a whole lot of things together because they have gathered together for one purpose, and that purpose is concerning Christ, or the consciousness of Christ that they're sharing with each other. They are the church in a building. Not people in a church, but they are the church in a building. When they're done and they say, okay, it's time to go home, I got to get up and go to work in the morning, they get up, or they leave that afternoon, want to go have a nice little brunch, and all of them walk out of that door. What's happening is the church is now walking out of the door of the building. And now once they go through the door, how do we say it? Elvis has left the building. The church has left the building. So the people or the church, they each separate. One gets in the car, maybe two of the other ones get in the same car, another one gets in their car, and they all go in different directions. They all go home. The church has now split up, and they're all going in different directions, going home. They are still the church, but they're now going back into their communities. The church is now going home. The building has been left. Now, there's a sign on the door that shows the name of who they are when they come together, but that does not make that building the church. It is the church building, or the house of the church. The church has gone home. So what do we understand about the church? The church is people. The church are a gathering of people. Not just one. It has to be at least two or three where that consciousness is shared. So what happens is when people gather and claim that we believe this, we gather for the purpose of that, you're stating the purpose of your coming together. Now, let's say you have two different groups of people. One group of people say we're coming together because we have accepted, we come to praise Jesus Christ. We come to study the words of Jesus Christ concerning love, concerning compassion, concerning the healing of the sick, healthcare, concerning the feeding of the multitude, people who are poor, people who have none, standing up for our rights to be able to make sure that people live life and have the pursuit of happiness. Whatever it is, your purpose came together, and we believe that the power of Jesus Christ rests in us. And so this is what we're going to do. That's one purpose of that group. Another group of people who claim that they are the church, that has a church name. They might have the title of the nonprofit organization too from the IRS. They got a church. That organization says, well, we're here because we don't believe that everyone should have health care. We want our country back. We want to make America great again. And we believe that Jesus Christ is going to give us our country back. It belongs to people who are, or they have within their philosophy, a type of white narcissism. Some would call it white supremacy, but hey, I'm debating that term right now in my brain. So here they are, two different organizations, two different groups of people claiming that they are here to praise Jesus or worship Jesus Christ. They both can leave the building, and the building is the building. They both can leave. Now, Don Lemon walks in and he just, hey, I'm reporting on this. People protest. People are protesting the building. They're not protesting the sacredness of the church. They're protesting what's going on at that particular space and time. When people leave, they can still protest the building because the people are going home, but that building is not the church. It's just a building like any other building. So here's the question. Who's right? Can you have a philosophy of white supremacy thinking, white narcissism, white Christian nationalism, and pull out the scriptures that you have, that you believe that you have a right and that Jesus Christ is on your side? Or is it the other? I am followers of Christ and the teachings of Jesus Christ, the love and the compassion of Christ for humanity. That's not necessarily connected with the government, but it doesn't mean I can't vote. Which one is it that we agree with? What's right? What's wrong? How do we separate all of this? I'm going to tell you that in just a minute. Just stick right with me. But first of all, before we end this, I want to say thank you to all of you who have been so supportive, especially in 2025 and right now here in 2026, who've been supportive of us. You've used the text to give 713-742-2035. And whether it's $7 or $8.80 or $9 or $10, I think 2026 is two and yeah, it equals about 10 if you add the numbers up of this year. Thank you for what you have done to enable us to keep talking just what we talk and open these kind of things up to people. And also remember, you can hit us up. Your donations are so important to us, but at the same time, it's going to make you feel good when you give, because it's going to give us the opportunity to keep spreading what we're spreading and talking what we're talking and encouraging people every day, because we're going to need it. Our community is going to have to get stronger. So you can go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. myalc.org. And hit that donate button. Smash it, crash it, and it'll make a huge difference. Thank you so much. Now, let me get closer to how this thing works. What makes our faith powerful? What makes our belief powerful? What makes us a type of church or gathering of people that makes sense? It is our words. I was looking at what they call a spelling bee, and I began to say, a spelling bee, I wonder what the origin of the word spelling is. And I typed in, as a matter of fact, I asked Siri about spelling. What is spelling? Come to find out, the etymology of the word spelling, or to spell something, means putting letters together to create a word. And a word is a container of thought. So when you spell something, you are creating something that contains a thought. Now, the ancient times of talking about a spell, think about this now. This is where they got it from. Casting a spell on someone. What? That's right. That's the origin of the word. To cast a spell. To create a spell, you create a word. Spell. You spell a word. And that word carries a thought. Whatever that thought is, you spell it, it carries that thought. When you add that thought to another thought, to another word, it creates a sentence. That sentence carries a compound thought. When you add those sentences together, 2 or 3 of them, it carries and becomes a paragraph. In other words, a much larger thought. This is why they don't want you to read certain things. This is why they want to erase certain books from your libraries. This is why they want to flip words concerning vocabulary. This is why they don't like the word woke being attached to you. In other words, all of you who are woke people and make you think, oh, I don't want to be woke. What is the opposite of being woke? Being asleep. So they want you to believe that woke is great and that woke is bad and sleep is good. Well, sleep is good, but not in this, not being unaware. To be aware is bad. To be unaware is good. To walk around just believing things, but not knowing the background of things. When you understand the background of things, why things work and why things don't. When you can articulate it in a word, in a sentence, in a paragraph, guess what you've done? You've created a spell. And when you can speak the spell, you can change the destiny. If I were to write something and said to you, the abundance of the Creator is upon your life, and you took it and said the abundance, and understood what the word abundance means, of the Creator of the entire universe, the cause of all things, is upon my life. What you have done is spoke a blessing over your life, or a word of blessing. Now, if I said to you, abundance has been taken from your life, you're not worth it. You're come from another country and your skin is too dark. That would be a curse. I'm scooping something out of you. I'm taking something from you. But more, I add to you. The abundance of the Creator is over your life. I am blessing you. I am speaking into you. Guess what? I am casting a spell upon you. And if you take it for your own, you will cause that spell to become more than what it is. And it begins to flourish in your life. And it grows and grows and grows and grows until all of the things that you need. See you next week. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button. Smash it, crash it. Let us know you're there. Hello, my friends. I'm Ed Montgomery. You know me, Pastor Ed, Dr. Ed. Thank you so much for doing what you do and contributing from your heart. People think giving comes from the pocket. Never has. It comes directly from the heart. In the world that we're living in right now, so many changes, so many things happening that will make us lose our faith. Listen, I've got to teach more than I've ever taught. Stay online more than I've ever been online. Because it's not just going to be enough to encourage. We're reteaching the faith. That's right, reteaching the faith. Because we have to begin to strengthen the teaching so that people who've never heard this gospel like this before can hear it and continue to move on. So when you give, you're pushing me and telling me and challenging me to keep going forward. Take a moment, go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org, myalc.org, and go ahead and click that donate button. It is safe, it is secure, and not only that, but it only takes just a couple of minutes, maybe even a few seconds for those of you that are already signed up. Or if you want to use your phone, wherever you're watching or however you're watching, you can use text to give. And that's 713-742-2035, 713-742-2035. Or you can go old school and you can write a check and send it in to Abundant Life Center or Ed Montgomery. It doesn't go into my pocket, it goes into our ministry. 772-300, Houston, Texas, 77215. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for what you already do. I am praying for you, and I'm praying the best over your gift and over the offering. And I pray that abundance will continue to flow in your life in so many different ways. It'll warm your heart. God bless you.